Today we will going to learn about the last lesson of first chapter standard 12 standard. So it was written by Alphonse Daudet. Okay, the last lesson, the last lesson written by Alphonse Daudet narrates about the year of 1817 when the Prussian force under Bismarck attacked and captured France. The French districts of Alsace and Lorraine went into Prussian hands. The new Prussian ruler discontinued the teaching of France in school of these two districts. The French teachers were asked to leave. The story described the last day of such French teacher Hamel. Here Mr. M. Hamel had been transferred and could no longer remain in the old school. Still he gave last lesson to his students with utmost devotion and sincerity as ever. So here we can see that the Hamel, he dedicated his life and he gave his last lesson to the students, and he devotionally and sincerely he was teaching in France. So all the students loved him. Here it is the story about when the Prussian, the German, has captured France districts, and here the French people were not allowed to speak French, but instead of that they were forced to speak German language. Okay, here one of his students, Franz, who read French class, and Mr. Hamel Idenroth came to his school that day thinking he would be punished as he had not learned his lesson of participles. But on reaching school he found Hamel dressed in Sunday's clothes and all the old people of the village sitting there. It was due to an order on the bulletin board that was the first day when he realized for the first time that how important French was for him, but it was his last lesson in France. So here France, he was a student who was living in France, and he was forced to learn Germany, and at the last it was his last lesson in France. So he literally hated his teacher, Mr. Hamel. So the chapter he is presented in the mode of a traditional schoolmaster here, Mr. Hamel. He was also kept his terrible ruler under his arm. So he was carrying the ruler, and he was here in the picture we can see that he is teaching his students with the ruler in his hand. Mr. Hamel was a hard taskmaster. We can see the other side of Mr. Hamel character after the order from Berlin came. So here Berlin is the capital of Germany, and the orders came from Berlin that France is under the control of German people. So he became the extra soft and gentle towards his students. So now Mr. Hamel has become extra soft. He didn't scold France for coming late. So here when France is entering the class, he didn't scolding his student France, nor did he use his ruler when France got mixed up and confused. He declared that it was the last lesson in France, so he taught his last lesson in France. Mr. Hamel was very highly respected both by his students and village elders. So Mr. Hamel has become a good teacher, and he was respected by all the villagers. So he completed 40 years in the same school. The village, all the elders came to pay their respect too much to the grand teacher. So Hamel loved France and French people. He was in his core heart. He considered France as the most beautiful language in the world. He asked the people to guard it among themselves and never to forget it. So here little France was student of a school in Alens. Mr. Hamel and his schoolmaster Franz was not a brilliant. So here Mr. Franz was not that much good in studies. Not he was a brilliant student, but he was good in playing. Okay, he used to play in his holidays. So he got mixed up with the confused, and he was always in dread of the great ruler, that Hamel. So he was very afraid of the Hamel, his teacher, who taught him in the class. However, Franz had to change his opinion about Mr. Hamel. So at the last year, the French changed his opinion, and he had spent 40 years in the same school. He felt sorry that he had neglected learning French. He shared Mr. Hamel's views about France. It was the most beautiful language in the world. So he at the last said that it is the most beautiful language to learn, and he Mr. Hamel has listened with rapt attention and respect. So here Franz also at the last attentively learned the chapter taught by his teacher.